Hello, hi, welcome. Hello. We are here to the official asmrtists 100k Q&A. And I've been anticipating this, and I wanted to have the perfect moment to film this, and I'm ready. I have my space. I got the lighting the way that I like it. I've decided like the proper mic settings. I've really put a lot of thought into this. I even made my special tea. This is tea. It's green tea in my special mug. And I have prepared my iPad. She's charging over here, but I've prepared my iPad with the questions. Yeah. Okay, I need to get like socially warmed up, and I feel like as the questions go along, I'll get more and more chatty and more Alise-esque, because I'm a little nervous. I don't know, I'm not nervous, but I'm like, so let's just get started, and let me take this off charge here. This is my iPad. Sorry about that. This is my iPad. And so the questions are in two places, right? So I posted on my community tab, here's some questions that I'm going to go through first. And there are 126 comments on this. So this is going to be a very long video, and I might split it up into two because I want to give everybody their deserved attention at my answers, and I just know I'm going to ramble, I just know. So yeah, sit back and prepare. You're going to be here a while, I hope. Yeah, and then there's also the comments. There's also the comments on a particular video where I said you can also comment here if you would like to participate in the Q&A. So yes, this is heavier than I remember, so I'm gonna sit it down here on my tissue box. I'm gonna turn down the brightness, and cheers, let's begin. Okay, so my system, so that I don't lose track, I'm gonna like every question as I answer it. And for some reason I already liked the first question. I don't know why I did that. I think it was the first person who commented and I just liked it. But Aaron Tim says, what was your main reason for moving to Japan? If for school, why Japan? And how does life in Japan differ from America for you? Congrats on 100k. Thank you for your congratulations, and thank you for being my first question. Thank you, Mr. Aaron Tim. So yeah, you are correct that initially school was my reason for moving to Japan. When I first came, it was April of 2022, and I was coming for a year-long exchange at Nagoya University, which I completed, and it was great and it was wonderful. But then I realized that I don't want to go back to the United States, and I really like living in Japan. So I worked it out with my advisors at my university that like I had enough credits where I could just graduate without having to go back and take more classes, so I could graduate and not have to leave Japan if I could find something that could give me a visa, which ended up being a combination of YouTube and modeling as well. Got me an entertainment visa. So that's why I'm still here. But my main reason, aside from study abroad, I never would have picked Japan if not for my boyfriend. I'm not sure the last time I told this story. I'll try to keep it brief, but it's not that I wasn't interested in going to Japan before I met him, but it was just like, I'll go to any country in the world, I didn't have any particular motive for Japan, especially until I met him. He studied abroad at my university in the United States back in 2019. and we were living in the same dorm, and that's how we met and we became good friends. And then he asked me out, and I actually rejected him the first time. Funny story. And then we continued being friends, and he turned out to be a really nice person. And then I was like, maybe I do like this guy. So then I ended up asking him like a month later. And yeah, and that was over 4 years ago. And then after his year study abroad in the US, he had to go back to Japan. Actually, it's when COVID hit, and Japan had their borders closed for the next 2 years. So we were long distance on different sides of the world for 2 years. And during that time, I started studying Japanese because I really wanted to be able to speak with his family because they don't speak English, and I really wanted to visit him. Since he got to live in my culture, I wanted to experience his culture, and that's when I started looking into study abroad, where I could, of course, be with him, but also experience life in his world. And I did, and I kind of fell in love with it. I never thought that I would be living in Japan, but here I am, and I'm so happy that I've ended up here. So that's kind of my little why I came to Japan story. Great, 5 minutes on the first question. Let's go. 125 more. No, I don't know. I'll do my best. I'll do my best. This is my Q&A, and I can do it how I want, okay? I'm mostly yelling at myself, not you guys, at like my internal thoughts. I'm like judging myself, but I shouldn't. I shouldn't judge myself. Okay. Can you tell I'm nervous? Okay. And then the next question is by Sophie Alise, which I think is also about Japan. I'm really happy that you guys are interested in my life in Japan. Yes, and I'm so happy to talk about it. So thank you, Sophie. Sophie says, I'm just really intrigued about your life in Japan. Why Japan? Okay, I answered that one. When did you move there? Answered that one as well, April 2022. So we're going on 2 years, about more than a year and a half. Was the modeling something that sort of found you in Japan, or did you go there for it? I had no plan of modeling when I came to Japan. So it found me after I was in Japan. I started modeling in November of 2022, so it's just about a year and a few months now. Was the change hard? I imagine it's so different compared to living in America. I just want to add that I think you're so brave. No, stop it. I'd be too afraid to make the changes to my life that you have, and then to have this channel as well. You shouldn't limit yourself, Sophie, because I used to have the same thoughts about myself. I really did. But you never know what you're capable of until you try. So I think you can do it. I totally think you can too. Well done on your 100K. Thank you. You deserve so many more followers. Hopefully it won't be long until we're all writing questions on your 1 million post. Oh my god. Thank you. That's very, very sweet. So your final question, I think, was it hard? I'm not gonna lie. Yes, I did have a really hard time for the first month especially. I cried a lot. I got hit with a really, really hard culture shock, and I think it was a bit more intense for me than maybe most Americans moving to Japan, under the circumstances that I was one of the first to go when the borders opened after 2 years, and the borders were only opening for international students. Like, that was it. And there was very few of us, especially in Nagoya. It's not like I was going to Tokyo, really big city. Nagoya's still pretty big though. But anyway, so there was no foreigners, and I felt like an alien, and everyone was staring at me everywhere I went because understandably they hadn't seen any foreigners in years, and they're probably like, oh, how did she get here? And just all the insane cultural differences. The culture itself isn't, I'm not calling insane. I have a lot of respect for the culture, but the scale of difference is insanely big because there's just so many little social rules that the only way to learn is by experience. And so I had to fail a lot before I could learn to adapt and adjust. So it was really hard. It really was hard. But I had a really nice support system with my boyfriend and his family, which I'm very grateful for. Yeah, but I cried a lot the first month. I cried a lot. Yeah, that was rough. thank you for your question, Sophie. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna give that a heart. Next is from Evergreen. I'd love to know more about how you may have dealt with loneliness and overcome it as an expat. That's so funny that these questions are building off each other. On what I just left off saying with Sophie, so I think when I first started to overcome my loneliness and my culture shock was making friends with other expats. I think that's the word you used. I'm not sure exactly. I think it means just like a foreigner living in Japan. But yeah, making friends with other international students. There is few of us, much less than there normally would be, but I did make some of them are still my best friends now, a few years later. Anna was, actually, I owe a lot of it to Anna. For those of you that may have seen Anna in some of my videos, she really helped me. She was in one of my classes, which all the classes were online for the first couple months, and that made it even harder to meet people, which made it more lonely. But in one of her Zoom classes, she sent me a message and said, "You look really nice. We should become friends." And it was like the angel who came to help me in my loneliness. And thanks to Anna, I met so many other friends who became really good friends. And yeah, so thanks to Anna. The difference that just one person can make by introducing you to other people is very, very helpful. But also the fact that I could make friends with people who were going through the same thing I was, adjusting to this culture and, their families on the other side of the world, that helped a lot. And also people who could speak English, because my Japanese was not so good when I came, and it was really overwhelming. So it was just kind of a safe space to get to interact with people who could understand and relate to me. And then, one thing I wanted to add, something that I still keep in practice today, to make sure that I don't get like homesick or something, even though sometimes I, of course, miss my family and stuff, but I make sure to include parts of my personal culture and like my American life into my life in Japan. So music is a really big thing for me. I listen to a lot of music, and maybe music that you listen to in your home country can help you feel better. Food is a big thing, any comfort foods, stuff like that. I think the senses are really powerful, so any sounds, any sights, any tastes that are comforting to you are really important. So thank you so much, Evergreen, for your lovely question. Yeah. Next is Manuel Roman. Oh my goodness, this person comments on my videos and my vlogs, which makes me so happy. Whenever I make a vlog, it's for you, Manuel. It is just for you. Okay, and Manuel says, "What's your favorite video that you've ever made?" Oh my goodness, that's a hard one. And do you improvise your funny videos as you go, or do you have some sort of script planned in advance? Much love and congrats for 100K. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's funny you ask that, because I think, not to call myself funny, but personally, I think that my funniest videos are the ones where I have absolutely no script. I am just talking out of my butt. Like, I'm just saying things as they come to my mind. For example, like my role plays and stuff. Yeah, nothing is planned, and I think the more, like, the less planned, the better, is what I've figured out. So those are always my favorite videos, because sometimes I have to stop filming because I laugh at myself because I just say the stupidest things. I really like, oh gosh, I don't know, I gotta look at my videos for a second. Let me see, a good one that I did recently. What's a good one? I don't know. There was one I made a really long time ago that I just thought was so hilarious, and I don't think it did particularly crazy in terms of views, but it has 93K views. I did it 2 years ago when I was at my university dorm, so the background's different, but It's ASMR, the most chaotic roleplay ever, soft-spoken, very lo-fi. And I had absolutely no plan, and I was just like, let me combine every roleplay trope and just say the most ridiculous things, and I had a fantastic time doing it, so I'll say that one. Thank you for your question. Let me go back to the community tab and then go back to the comments. Where were we? Okay. Thank you. Okay, next is Benjamin B. Congrats 100k. Thank you. I've been a viewer for a while, and you're one of my favorite ASMR channels. Thank you. I'm very honored for that. I'm glad to see your success. What would you say are some things different about life in Japan that maybe wouldn't be thought about by those of us in America the West? Okay, I have a list of, on my notes app on my phone that I don't add to it much these days because I've kind of fully adjusted, but in the first year I was opening that list and just adding a bunch of stuff, so, there's a lot. Some things different about life in Japan that maybe wouldn't be thought about. Things different about life in Japan that wouldn't be thought about. Things about different, okay. Paper. I think that people already kind of know about that, but a lot of paper stuff, you get your bill in the mail and you have to go to the post office and pay with cash and then get your paper receipt and do everything by paper. And I'm getting a criminal background check, and no, I cannot receive an online PDF of my results. I have to go in person to the please, headquarters, don't get me started on this. I'm gonna get all worked up about it again, but I have to go in person to police headquarters again and pick up a paper file. Anyway, so paper, we're in the 80s in terms of things being digitalized. We're not quite there yet. That's okay. That's fine. I want to say a real crazy one. I'm trying to think. A real crazy one. Small talk does not really exist, which is a relief for me. And when I go back to the United States, I'm always like slapped in the face by people talking to me in public, and I'm like, I forget how to do it, and I'm really awkward. I'm already awkward to begin with. But like, for example, if you're at the grocery store and when they're like ringing up all your items, they will not speak to you. And it's not because they don't like you, it's just they don't do that here. Like, why would they? They don't know you. They're not gonna ask you about your day or try to like make a little fake small talk. No. That's not gonna happen. So for introverts, it is very comfortable. There's no like unfamiliar social interactions. Like, you know what they're gonna say. It's all scripted, basically. Like, they're gonna ask you if you need a plastic bag, you say yes or no, and then they're gonna ask you how you're gonna pay, and then they're gonna ask you if you want a receipt, and then you're done. That's it. Like, it's super predictable, so that's nice. I want to give you one more different about Japan that we wouldn't be think about. What would they not think about in the West? Obviously no shoes in the house. Big no. Okay, this is an interesting one. Sleeping with your head pointing in a particular direction. As you can see, my bed is here, and if I lay in it, my head is pointing west, and I don't want to get this wrong. It's either south or this direction, which is east. One of the two. I don't remember. You cannot sleep with your head pointing that way. It's not good. I don't know. My boyfriend's grandparents, they have a lot of interesting little superstitions like that. Yeah. And then I'll give you the last one. And this is something that people truly believe, is that if you fall asleep in the room with the fan on and the door closed, you're going to pass away in your sleep. Because apparently that happened to a guy like 15 years ago, and now everyone is scared of falling asleep with the fan on. So don't fall asleep with the fan on. It's bad. And that's hilarious because every day of my life in the United States, I would sleep with the fan on. And I'm still here, so I don't know, you know. Thank you, Benjamin. That was lovely. Okay. Next we have Meow7862. Some questions I really want Alise to answer. Hello, I would love to answer. What's your favorite movie and why? I have two that come to mind. First of all, the original Curious George movie. Love that movie. It's, aside from the nostalgia, I just think the soundtrack is incredible. It's the soundtrack is done by Jack Johnson, who's one of my all-time favorite artists because of that movie from when I was in kindergarten. It's a feel-good movie. It has good moments, it has sad moments, it has everything you need, and the animation ahead of its time. So I recommend you all sit down and watch the original Curious George movie. Then my second favorite movie. I'm a history nerd, so I get really excited about the I always forget the names, with Nicolas Cage. The one where they try to steal the Declaration of Independence. National Treasure. I love the National Treasure movies. Yeah, just they get me real excited. Favorite childhood memory. That is very hard to pick. I had this yellow swing hanging in the front yard on a big oak tree of my childhood home, and I would just go swing and sing to myself, and I was in my own little world, and I would love to do that again. Yeah, and just playing outside. I'm really thankful that I think I'm the last like bit of a generation that didn't have iPads and stuff growing up. Like, I think that came right after me, so I'm really grateful that I experienced playing outside and stuff, because it's really some of my best memories. Any pet peeves? Yeah, pet peeves. I used to have pet peeve words. Doesn't bother me so much now, but I used to be really bothered when people would say really specific words. For example, truly. I used to hate the word truly, and it would like send chills down my spine if somebody said, "Oh, I'm truly happy." Like, shut up. No, you're not. No, you're lying. And it was truly, and then this one still bothers me, and my mom says it, guesstimation. Guess, like, just say estimation, just say guess. Why do you have to combine them? I hate that word. Would you rather never listen to music? I feel like I'm gonna pick the other thing because I need music. Or listen to the same music for the rest of your life. Same music for the rest of my life, for sure. Most hated or disliked subject? Assuming you mean like subject in school. I was the most bored with chemistry. I just didn't feel any connection to it. It was just so, like, it felt so meaningless to me. Like, I don't know, I feel like I need tangible, like, real world application of what I'm studying to feel excited about it, and it didn't make me excited. Real boring for me. What's your ambition regarding career-wise apart from being an ASM artist? That too is an amazing one, thank you. English teacher. That's a job that I'm in the process of hopefully getting. I have an interview in a week or so. I'll be teaching English in Japan, and then eventually I want to go back and get my master's, maybe PhD, and something relating to language learning, language teaching. I just love language. I love language. I love learning languages. I love talking about languages. I love linguistics. I love all of it. Yeah, and maybe do research in that field. I'm really interested in how we learn languages and what's happening in our brain and stuff. So that. And then finally, if you could give yourself a name except Alise, what would it be? I've thought about this a lot growing up. My mom said I was almost going to be named Mia, M-I-A, Mia, which I'm glad I wasn't, because that does not suit me. But I really like A names, and when I was growing up, I liked the name Alana. There was a really pretty girl named Alana, and I was like, I want to be Alana. So probably Alana, A-L-A-N-A, and then you can call me Lana, and Alana, I don't know, I think it's nice. I like your questions, thank you. Thank you, let me give you a heart. Okay, now we have from Marshmallows. Congrats on the 100k, thank you. Really like your videos. You're the reason why I'm enrolling in my 3rd semester in learning Japanese. Yes. Congratulations. I'm so happy. I'm so happy for you. Thank you. What was the hardest thing to adapt to in Japan? Probably being stared at a lot. Because in America, everybody's so different. You know, it would take a lot to see a person walking down the street and turn around and be like, whoa, look at that person, you know. It would have to be something really outside of the box that's, you know, a really wacky appearance, but just not being Japanese will make people stare at you, and it's just because it's a very homogenous society and there's not many people that look like you. And for some old people or some really young people, like kids, it's probably the first time they're seeing someone that looks like you, so I understand it. But it used to really bother me. It made me really uncomfortable. That took a while, but it doesn't bother me anymore. And depending on my mood, I'll either smile. If it's an old person, I'll smile and they're so cute, and I'll like wave or like bow, and they get really happy about it. If it's a kid, I'll definitely wave. I love kids, but I don't know, if I'm feeling like it's a judging kind of stare, I will stare back and give them my mean face, and then they get scared, and I like that. That makes me feel powerful. Yeah, it depends on my mood. Usually I just ignore it though, because like whatever, I get it. Thank you for your question. From Alise Yun, we have a very similar name. How did you know you wanted to get into linguistics, and do you think it helped or was worth it in your life? I would really love to know, because I really enjoy all your videos on the Japanese language and linguistics, and I'd previously been interested in linguistics before watching your videos. Oh, no, before watching, but your videos gave me the nudge to apply for linguistics programs and universities, so I'm so happy. I'm so happy to hear that I have an influence on people's studies. That makes me so happy. And I was just wondering what you thought of your experience in linguistics and studying languages in general. Very good question, because it took me a while to finally admit that I'm the most interested in languages and linguistics, and that I will dedicate a degree to that, because I tried out other fields that I thought would be more like, I hate the concept of like study something useful that's gonna make you money, but I did fall into that trap at first, and I tried other fields, and I just did not enjoy it, and I knew where my heart was. And when I was at the end of my second year, I switched to linguistics, and it was the best choice that I made, because I really enjoyed every class that I took for that degree. It changed the way that I think about my daily life. When I'm reading, when I'm writing, when I'm talking with people, especially if you're learning other languages, it's extremely helpful. I never regret it, and I would recommend it to anyone who's interested in languages. If that's what makes you excited to learn about, absolutely you should do it. So, how did you know you wanted to get into linguistics? I've always had a really deep interest in languages in general. Like, you know how little kids learn Pig Latin and they think it's like learning a secret language? I was so into that when I was a kid, and that really got me excited. And anything with language, I really just got me excited. So I'm not sure if there was any pivotal moment or something. But I'm also very curious about other cultures, and you can't really separate language from culture. So it's also a means to understand other cultures. The two are very, very tied. Yeah. It just makes me happy. I love linguistics. Yeah. So I'm cheering for you. I'm cheering for you to study what you're passionate about. Anyone, whatever it is, just do what you're passionate about and you won't regret it. Yeah. It was worth it, my life. There, I know you asked that. Yes. Okay. From TDJ10. What are some places on your Japan travel bucket list? Oh, I really want to go more north, like more towards Hokkaido. I've been to Hokkaido once, but I didn't get to go to many cities, and I want to see more of like rural nature Hokkaido, and I want to see the snow monkeys, and the north. I haven't seen much of the north at all. Yeah, I've mostly, so like Japan is kind of like Cheong, and I've been a lot of here, but I haven't gone up here, so I'm really curious about it. And I'm really interested in the Ainu. If you're not familiar, Japan does have an indigenous peoples called the Ainu, and they're not many of them left, but there are some left, and their culture's really, really interesting. And there's a lot of museums and stuff, and I would like to learn about it. Yeah, I feel like most people don't know that. I didn't know that until I took a class on modern Japanese history, and I learned that the whole north part of Japan was colonized, and it used to belong to indigenous people. I didn't know that. Yeah, they have their own language, their own set of like culture, everything. Yeah, the Ainu. Look it up. Really interesting. And then you also said, what are some good tips that you would recommend for others learning Japanese, planning to visit Japan? Congrats on 100k, love your channel. Thank you so much. Okay, tips for learning Japanese. You need to make it part of your daily routine. Input and output. So listening, reading, and then speaking, writing. You have to practice both. A lot of people only study using input, so like, reading a textbook or like listening to something or watching anime, but output is crucial to practice the skills that you've learned, or else it's never going to stick in your head. I think the very, very best way is to have a friend who speaks Japanese, or date someone. That's helped me a lot. Yeah, and there's a lot of apps, I think, where you can talk with people of a target language and do language exchange. Yeah, that for sure. And if you're at a beginning level, I think a textbook is really necessary just to get the rules, and then once you have the basic rules down, you can kind of study more freely in other ways. Planning to visit Japan, bring deodorant, because there's not deodorant here. There's a little bit, and it's terrible. I've mentioned this before, but like 90% of Japanese people don't have the gene that makes your armpits sweat and smell. Like, they sweat just like normal sweat on the rest of your body, so they don't need deodorant. Most Japanese people don't even know what it is. When my boyfriend first saw my deodorant, he smelled it, thought it smelled really good, and he licked it because he didn't realize yeah, it was really funny. But yeah, bring your own deodorant because you will miss it. Thank you for your questions, heart. Okay. Next we have from Scarlization6261. Hey Alise, congratulations on 100k. Thank you. I really only have one question for the Q&A. Have you visited any of the historical sites in Japan, like Nagasaki, Kure, etc.? Yes. And I really want to visit more. So I went to the dome at Hiroshima. It was yeah, I'll never forget it, and I'll be going back. Definitely a good learning experience. And other historical sites, absolutely. Kyoto is really good in terms of shrines and temples. So, and then castles. Osaka Castle is really beautiful. I've been inside of a really old castle. It's like one of the oldest standing castles in Japan. It was so cool. I think it's Inuyama. If that's the one that is one of the oldest standing ones, I apologize if I'm wrong. But it's not a very well-known attraction. I really recommend it. Inuyama Castle. I think it's in Aichi Prefecture. And you can go inside and go to the top of it and view over the city, and it's really beautiful. But yes, yeah, I like history. I like old stuff. Oh my gosh. I love going to like the big oh gosh. Oh wait, I'm remembering more. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. So sorry. There's do you all know the tale of Genji? Genji no Monogatari? It's a really, really famous piece of Japanese literature that is written a really long time ago, like hundreds and hundreds of years ago. And there was a scroll that was painted. So Japanese scrolls are what existed before books were invented. You know, where you roll it up and you unroll it, and it's like this long illustrated, and it's telling a story. It's amazing. Sometimes it has writing. But I saw a piece of the original, oh my god, of the original Genji no Monogatari Emakimono, the scroll. I saw it in person. It was insane. It was, it travels like from different museum to different museum. It was at a museum near me for a few weeks, and I went to see it, and it was so cool. Yeah. If you like art, there's a lot of really old art, both Japanese art, Korean art as well, and also Chinese art, like old. I'm talking like 1,000 years old, really old stuff. So it's super cool. Yeah. Thank you for your question. I like old stuff. Oh my goodness, another question from my friend Manuel. Hello, thank you for another question. Were you affected by the recent earthquakes in Japan at all? Have you experienced any since you moved there? Natural disasters? Greetings from Argentina. Oh my god. Hello to Argentina. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know you were from Argentina. Thank you for watching my videos. So at the time that the earthquake hit on New Year's, I was in Gifu Prefecture, which is south enough from where the earthquake hit to where I was safe. Everybody's phones went off with the alert, and it was my first time experiencing that. It was kind of scary, so everybody just went outside and waited. I was at an outlet shopping mall, and we all went outside and waited, and I was totally fine. I was okay. I was very fortunate for my location. And actually, I have not ever felt an earthquake. I've been waiting for it and anticipating it, but I've been here for almost 2 years, and I've never felt any earthquake shakes ever. I'm a little nervous about it. In terms of other natural disasters, I grew up in Florida. Hurricanes. I've experienced so many hurricanes, and a storm does not faze me. I'm a Florida girl. Hurricanes, nothing. We don't leave. We just stay, and we enjoy that school and work is canceled, and we throw hurricane parties. Yeah, probably the worst one was I think it was category 6 hurricane. What was it? It was in 2016. I don't know if anybody remembers. There was a really bad hurricane in 2016 that hit Florida, and a big tree fell on my house. It wasn't funny. We actually evacuated for that one. Yeah, I remember when we went back to our neighborhood after everything ended, and it was pretty bad. But yeah, hurricanes, been through them, but never any earthquakes. Thank you, Emmanuel. Okay, what hobbies besides ASMR do you have? Oh. Okay. So I really like taking photos, and so when I take photos, I don't like it to be of people. I like photos of natural, beautiful things, or like pretty sights. Animals can be included in that. And then I like making videos as well, like, and then editing them is really fun for me, which is why I started my vlog channel. But I am absolutely horrible at uploading on it. But so if you look at any of my vlogs, I really enjoyed kind of the creative process of filming certain shots and like putting them together with music and stuff and editing and transitions and whatnot. I like making stuff. That's my hobby. And then I have a inside joke that somebody in Japanese, my friend or somebody asks me like, 趣味は何ですか? Which is like, what's your hobby? I say, コンビニに行くことです which means I like going to the convenience store. Because I just love going to the convenience store. It's really fun. But that's halfway joking. I also love music. I played the guitar, but it's in the United States, and I am yet to ship my guitar here because it's big and it's gonna be a hassle. Yeah, I like animals a lot. I like going to cat cafes and petting all the cats, and I can't wait to get my own cat. I cannot wait to get my own cat. And I like going to the gym. Most people are surprised when I say this, but I actually like weightlifting. I despise cardio. I don't do cardio. But I really like weightlifting because it makes me feel really powerful. Growing up, I was bullied for being really skinny, and I hated it. And I always wanted to not feel that way. So when I started weightlifting my senior year of high school, it made me feel a sort of power in my body that I'd never experienced before. And it's just a really personal experience when you're in the gym. Like, it's just about me and myself and the music that I'm listening to. And yeah. Thank you for asking. I'm never sure how to answer the hobby question because I feel like the first one you say is like, your big answer. It's got to be a good one, so I don't know what to say first. And hobbies change, You ask me tomorrow, might be different. Thank you for your question, Michael. Next we have from Rowan Cody. Congratulations on 100k. Thank you. This is a heart. Thank you. What would be your dream job career if you could do literally anything? This question is so difficult, and I struggled with it growing up, and I was always jealous of my friends or other people who knew what they wanted to be when they grew up, and I was like, I have no idea. Work in music, a music producer or a songwriter, something like that, or I get to work behind the scenes in the studio. That's so cool. I think that's so cool. I think it's so cool. Yeah. Music producer and get to work with different artists and stuff. That would be really fun. Thank you. Okay, what is your favorite non-ASMR YouTube channel? So that's always changing. I go through a lot of phases where I'll just binge one YouTube channel and then I watch all their videos and I have to move on to the next one. And right now I'm on Cody Co. I never watched Cody Co videos before like a month ago, which is so funny because I think he's been big for years. I think he got big on Vine, and I was in middle school when Vine was out, so I think I probably saw some of his Vines, but I just think he's hilarious. And I particularly like watching his reaction videos to the button. The button YouTube videos where people go on a blind date and they hit the button to beep each other out. He does really good commentary on those, and I just think he's a genius. He's so funny. So he's like my little podcast that I'll put on when I'm doing the dishes. Just listen to some Cody Co. I think he's so funny. Thank you for your question, Abigail. Of course, I like to watch vlog channels and travel vlogs and stuff. In which case I like Taylor R, the Canadian who's living in Hong Kong. I've been following her for a while now, and she inspired me a lot to do what I'm doing now with YouTube and modeling and stuff, because she went through a similar route, and she also lived in Japan. So I also love her, have to mention her. Okay. Do you have any favorite... Oh, this is from Comment King. Yes, you are Comment King. Do you have any favorite video that you've made? I have already answered that one, so sorry. But yeah, it's the roleplay where I'm going bonkers and saying really stupid things. It could be one that's special for emotional reason, or just one that you think you did really well on. Oh, I feel like I need a better answer now. Emotional reasons. In terms of putting out actual good quality content, I would have to say probably my vlog channel, because I spend hours editing one video, so I'm really proud of like the final product for some of them. Some of them I was really lazy editing, so it depends on the video. In terms of this channel, maybe the original drawing on your face art student one, because when I thought of the idea, it was really last minute. I was all set up to film in my dorm at college, and I had no idea what to film, and I was like, I got pins. But why would I do that? Because I'm an art student, obviously. And I just came up with this whole story in my head. And I had this intuition that, like, this video is gonna do good. I only had, like, 20,000 subscribers, maybe 10, I don't know. And that video got me, like, probably 40,000 subscribers on that video alone. It was crazy. Just suddenly, it was my first video to ever kind of blow up. So, that one. Thank you. Okay, we're at 46 minutes, and I may stop this video after an hour and then keep going and do a part 2, or I'll just do the whole thing. I don't know. We'll see how we're feeling, but I might need to take a break. Next is Wesker 113A. My only real questions are just how much you love Japanese culture and what kind of things have you gotten into with their culture. I have a lot of respect for the culture, and probably my favorite aspect of Japanese culture that is so different from American culture is the collective nature of Japanese culture, whereas Americans are very individualistic, and I'm not saying that one is better than the other. There's pros and cons to both. But people view themselves as a member of, like, a harmonious society, so people are really considerate about each other and considerate towards their environment. So I think that's one of the reasons why people are so polite and so clean, and everyone is, and it's not because they just try to be super polite people. It's just kind of a product of, if you view yourself as a member of a collective and not just one person where you put yourself first, then naturally you're going to care for the people around you and care for your environment. And that was really interesting for me when I came here to experience that. And yeah, I'm not like trashing American culture about individualism, because there's downsides to it, of course. Like peer pressure is a big thing here, because in a collective society you don't want to go against the group. It's considered rude. So peer pressure is a big problem that comes along with that. What kind of things have you gotten into? Oh gosh, what kind of things have I mean, I watched anime before coming to Japan. What kind of things have I gotten into? What kind of things have I... Tea culture. Like traditional tea ceremonies, I think are really interesting, and I really recommend if you can go to a traditional Japanese ryokan, which is like it's not a resort, it's not a hotel, but it's like where you can stay, and it's like an old style of if you would take a trip in Japan like hundreds of years ago. It's like what you would experience. And sometimes they'll have tea ceremonies, and you like sit on the floor and you do, it's very, very particular. Every motion that you make has like meaning behind it and purpose, and a way that you move, and a way that you prepare the tea, and a way that you drink it, and I think it's really beautiful. It's like an art. So tea culture. Have you visited a martial arts dojo? No, I would like to. I've seen it on TV. That's another thing. It's just like such an old practice that's been perfected over hundreds and hundreds of years, similarly to the tea ceremony culture. So it's just really beautiful to see. It's like become an art. Yeah, I hear they're awesome and fun. I've heard the same, and they're very fun to watch on TV. I know I'd love to learn martial arts and swordmanship if I ever visit. Sword making is really cool. I went to a sword museum. Yeah, and I learned a lot about samurai and why swords are made the way that they are, and there's a lot of very small, intricate details for like everything. Thank you for your question. Okay, from Idle Boy 1013, are there any embarrassing moments you've had while interacting with Japanese people? Absolutely. Okay, first one that comes to mind, It was raining outside, and the stairs coming down from my apartment leading to the sidewalk were wet, and I was kind of running down them, and I slipped and I fell on my butt and landed at the feet of a Japanese salary man. And it was really embarrassing. Yeah, that was pretty bad. I've had a lot of experiences falling that were really embarrassing. Another time, Japanese girls and ladies, and pretty much of all ages, especially in the summer, hold parasols. They call them higasa. It means sun umbrella, like sunbrella, to hide their faces from the sun because they're really aware of like sun damage and stuff. And so I was like, I'm gonna fit in, and I got myself a higasa, and I was running late. And another thing, it's okay to run when you're running late. Like, you'll see people running down the street all the time, like, not for exercise. Like, they're running to the train station to make the train, like in a full suit, in fancy clothes, like whatever. It's totally normal. Nobody's gonna judge you because people are on time here. So I was running to the station with my higasa, and I tripped and landed on top of my umbrella, and it broke from my body falling on top of it, and that was also humiliating. Other things would be not really embarrassing for me, but embarrassing for them. People talk about me in public because they assume I can't understand them, but I can. And usually I'll let it slide, but sometimes I like to let them know I understood them, and then that's really funny. It happened today, actually. I was printing a document at a printing store, and these two guys were in line in front of me, and one guy was like, I wonder where she's from, like, doko no kuni kana? Doko no kuni no shushin kana? Which is like, where is she from? And then he was like, you shouldn't, like, just in case she can understand, like, you shouldn't talk about her. And he was like, I don't care. And I was on the phone with my boyfriend speaking English, and at that very moment I looked at them and switched to Japanese on the phone to my boyfriend, which was like my way of saying, yeah, I understood you. It was really funny and super funny. I love doing that. Yeah, I've embarrassed myself a lot, though. A lot. I could make a whole video about that, so maybe I will. Thank you for your question. Okay, ASMR by B. Hi, B. Hi, B. Oh my goodness, B. I love B's videos, by the way. Congrats on 100k. That is so exciting. Thank you. I'm sure this has been asked and answered, but would you want to get in what got you into ASMR, and when did you start watching it? No, B, you're the first one to ask. Thank you. I first watched ASMR the night before my first day of school, senior year of high school. And I stayed up all night doing my summer work assignment, which was a big paper, and I finished it, and it was like 4:30 in the morning. I had to get up at 6:30, and I could not fall asleep. And I had heard about ASMR, and I never watched it. And I was like, you know what? Maybe this will make me fall asleep. And I typed in ASMR, and the first thing that came up was Ting Ting ASMR, a roleplay. And I watched it, and it was lovely. And I did not fall asleep, but it was lovely. Yeah. And I'd say that my friend Megan got me into it. Megan watched it before me, and she recommended it to me before. And, yeah. So shout out to Megan and Ting Ting ASMR. Thank you, B. Okay, from Joner 1983. What do you mainly use for ASMR? Oh, no, I can't read. Sorry. What do you mainly use ASMR for? Sleep, relaxation? Thank you for your content, and congrats on 100k. Thank you. This is a heart for you. So, initially, it was to help me go to sleep, and not because I experienced tingles. I don't think I ever have. It just doesn't happen for me. But my problem is my brain won't like turn off, and I need to distract my mind. And if I'm just laying in silence, like, my thoughts just won't stop. So ASMR is like a really good distraction that's not too like exciting that it keeps me awake. It's just like relaxing, something to let my mind focus on and let me drift off. So mostly for sleep and relaxation before going to sleep. But I did 1 year ago, in my final semester during my study abroad, I had to write some papers and I was having really trouble focusing and music wasn't like helping me focus, but I needed something to listen to, so I actually put on ASMR and it really helped me focus. So I will say that I've used it for focus as well and it worked. So I do recommend that. Thank you for your question. We're at 55 minutes and 57 seconds. Let's keep going. What made you choose ASMR as a type of content? Hi, sorry for the interruption. My phone ran out of storage, so I had to delete some videos that I filmed before and already uploaded. I forgot to delete them. We should be good to go now. So I was just saying, what made you choose ASMR as a type of content to create? Okay, every time I try to think of what was going through my mind when I first sat down to film an ASMR video, I have no idea why I did that. It was during quarantine 2020. I hadn't left the house in a while. I was doing my college classes online. I was trying to find ways to keep myself busy, and I had been watching ASMR for a year and a half to maybe 2 years. And I don't know, I just felt like I could do it. And then when I started my channel, I had this really weird intuition that like this is gonna become something, like this is gonna be more than just my little secret that I'm filming in my room at 2 a.m, like, and I was right, and it turned out to be this, which I'm so grateful for. So I don't know, I had this little intuition that I could be successful at it, and I'm really glad that I listened to that intuition. As for big inspirations, Latte ASMR, especially my early roleplay videos, straight up Latte style. I adore her. I love everything about her videos. And then Mauve ASMR, I used to watch her rambles, so she's probably the reason that I started doing rambles. I think she's so interesting and I could just listen to her talk all day. So Mauve ASMR and Latte ASMR, big inspirations. Also, congrats on 100k, a very big milestone. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, what is your current, oh, this is Stella Gray. Stella, hi Stella. Oh my god, hi Stella. Oh my god, sorry. What is your favorite, I feel like I have to say now, Stella. Stella is such a pretty girl. Everybody go look at Stella. Stella follows me on Instagram, and Stella, hi. Okay, what is your current favorite? I can't take this seriously, Stella. You're making me nervous. Stop. Okay, what is your current favorite ASMR trigger, or one that maybe you've discovered recently that you really like? Congrats on 100k soft-spoken queen. You deserve it. Oh, stop. You're making me blush, Stella. Stop it. Okay, my current favorite ASMR trigger. So when I started watching ASMR, I was very much into soft-spoken, which is why I started doing soft-spoken. But actually in the past couple months, I have been listening to some good whispers. Some really good whispers. Some good whispers, yeah. In terms of a favorite trigger, there's this one channel, Stargirl ASMR, who has less than 1,000 subscribers, I think, last time I saw, and her whispers just get me. Like her whisper rambles, and she does this thing, like I think it's called anticipatory whispers, where it's like, and then she'll talk, and then like, I don't know, she'll stutter, or she just does fun things, and her whispers really get me. So if you're a whisper lover, Stargirl ASMR is so underrated. Amazing. Yes. And I would say that would also answer that I've discovered recently, because I didn't really like whispering before, but now I do. Thank you. I'm so grateful for your question. Thank you, Stella. Okay, next is Anna Medrano 3688. Hi, Alise. Hello. Congrats on 100k. Thank you. My question would probably be, what's a movie you could watch every day, or maybe a comfort TV show or video? I'm gonna have to go Curious George. And the TV show would be Comfort TV show Curious George. I am very grateful that I have not had a panic attack or any sort of like extreme anxiety in a long time. But when I did previously, I would watch Curious George and it would make me feel calm. So I love Curious George. Love it. Thank you for your question. Okay, next is from Created Thunder. Would you consider Nagoya University, that's where I studied abroad in Japan, would you consider it a good place to get a degree that is accredited in Japan? Absolutely. Yeah, especially if you want to work in Japan, it is really highly respected. So it's considered, there's like the top 6 universities that is like Japan's Ivy League, and it's okay, the list is, people argue about this, but definitely Nagoya University is on the list. Definitely Tokyo University, Kyoto University. There's another one in Tokyo that I always forget the name. And then there's, I'm sorry, probably Waseda in Tokyo. Yeah, and a few more. But yeah, to people outside of Japan, they're like, I've never heard of Nagoya University. But to people in Japan, if you say I went to Nagoya University, they'll be like, oh, especially in Nagoya, people love it. Or would you recommend other colleges like Temple University Japan campus? By the way, congrats on 100k. Thank you. I would say it depends on where you want to work. If you want to work in America, then Temple's great. And if you like paying American tuition, then Temple's great, but I don't recommend it. University is much cheaper in Japan, even if you don't get scholarships. So if you want to work in Japan, 100% go to a Japanese university like Nagoya University over Temple for sure. It will be respected. Not saying that Temple's bad. It's perfectly fine. But I think to people in Japan, they would much more prefer a Japanese university like Nagoya University. Yeah, but in America, maybe Temple, because it's recognizable and people don't know what Nagoya University is. Yeah, and if you're just talking about money, then Nagoya University. Okay, yes. Oh, maybe you also need to consider classes available in English, in which case Nagoya University has one of the biggest selections of classes available in English in a ton of different subjects. So I'm rooting for Nagoya University. Thank you for your good question. Next is from Simon. I remember, oh my god, Simon, this question is so good. I peeked, and this was one of the questions that I took a look at before. This question got me. This person is talking to my internal psyche. I remember a time where you didn't want to say love you guys in a video because you found it weird, but in your recent videos you began doing it more and more. I don't want to begin a whole discussion about it, but I imagine part of why you didn't want to say it before was because of the problems that could arise by a parasocial relationship with your viewers, simply. And I am interested on how your perspective may have changed on that topic, or what's your opinion about the connection relationship with your viewers in general. That is such a good question, and you called me out on something that I did not realize I started doing. And then I was like, oh my god, you're right. I didn't realize that I started saying love you in my videos. And it really got me thinking. And first of all, it got me, I think there's a few different reasons. So first of all, for me, there's a big difference between saying like I love you, emphasis on the I, and just like love you bye feels more of like a cute way of saying bye to your friends, which I say a lot to my friends, and I do love my friends, but I have trouble saying the words I love you. Like I rarely say I love you to my family because I just feel really awkward about it. So for one thing, I don't think I say I love you in my videos, because I wouldn't do that. That makes me feel weird. But I notice that you're right, I have been saying love you guys. And I think it's because I've been watching other YouTubers or people around me have been saying it, and I picked it up. Because we are sponges. We are. And we absorb the words and the mannerisms of the people that we spend time with or watch a lot if you're watching TV or videos. And I think I definitely picked that up from some other YouTuber or something. Yeah, and then the other thing was that I do feel a lot more open and comfortable in my videos than I did, let's say, like a year ago, year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Just as I've been talking in front of this camera more and more and more, and reading all of your comments, and feeling like we've kind of developed a sort of community where I know the kind of people that are watching my videos, and I'm comfortable talking with you all and opening up. So I think that's another reason why I've just kind of been more like free with what I say. But yeah, that's a really good thing that you pointed out, and really got me thinking about myself and the weight of the words that I say. Yeah. So thank you for that. Thank you. What's my opinion of the connection relationship with my viewers in general? I feel very comfortable speaking about myself on here, and I love reading the comments, and you all make me smile and laugh, and I'm very grateful for you as people who watch me and give me some sort of platform where I can express myself. So I think that's a very special type of relationship where I will never know your face, but still, like, you have influenced my life a lot by giving me this YouTube channel. So yeah, it's a weird relationship dynamic that I don't think, I don't know, you don't get to experience very often. So yeah, thank you for your interesting question, Simon. Heart. I give it a heart. Okay. Next is, I don't know how to read this name. Yogurt Constitute. I'm sorry, I can't read your name very correctly, but you said, hi Alise, congrats on 100k. Thank you. I love your videos so much. Thank you. What do you think of the experience of working as a model in Japan? That's an interesting one. That's a very interesting one. So, of course, there's pros and cons to everything. A lot of things about that I'd heard about the modeling industry, about you need to have thick skin because people are going to just say things about your appearance and you can't take it personally. And I've heard some pretty harsh things about models in the West or in America. But I have had a very positive experience in terms of, like, the people that I've worked with have been very polite and kind. And I don't know if that's just, my isolated experience, or if it has to do with Japanese culture influencing how people are more polite. It's probably a mix of both. So I would say I've had a very positive experience modeling in Japan. I can't compare it to modeling in America because I never have, because I'm too short. But in Japan, if you are 170 centimeters, you're solid. That's like 5'7". So yeah, if you're like 5'6", 5'7", you're good to go. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I want to give you something more experience. What do you think of the experience of working as a model in Japan? It's made me a lot more confident, both in myself as just in general, but then also socially, because you're always meeting new people that you kind of you have to be vulnerable when you're getting your picture taken a lot. Yeah, and everyone's staring at you, so it helped me come into myself and being confident in who I am. And also socially confident and meeting new people and introducing myself and being like, yeah, I'm Alise, this is me. And being really sure of who I am. Particularly in Japan though. Okay, so especially in the modeling industry here, they have a interesting obsession with half Japanese people. Modeling agencies are, I think, especially looking for half because like you're just Japanese enough to feel familiar to customers who are looking at your face, but you're also just interesting enough or just exotic enough to catch their attention. And it kind of feels like an icky, I don't know, I don't really like that. I don't know, it just feels like kind of a weird, I don't know, I can't really put it into words, but it's like in a way kind of like tokenizing or like fetishizing half Japanese people, because it's like, you're like us, but you're different because you're exotic because you're a half. Ooh. And people always assume, they ask me like, doko no kuni no half desu ka? I'm like, I'm not half, I'm American. They're like, oh, you're a model and you're not half? So it's interesting. And there's a funny stereotype that if you're half, that you're a model. Yeah, that's kind of a weird thing. I think that arose in like the past 10 to 15 years. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. But I am not half, so I have not experienced modeling as a half Japanese person in Japan, so I can't speak on it too much. But there is a weird obsession with it. Yeah. Okay. From Pepperoni5. Do you remember the first ASMR video that you saw? Yes. I was a sophomore in high school. I think it was sophomore. And I was at a birthday party, and this guy named Tyler, hey Tyler, was talking about, he was like, do you guys know what ASMR is? And I was like, no. And he was like, it's kind of weird, like they like make sounds into microphones. And I was like, why? And he showed me a video of GB and I don't know, she was just doing her thing, and he was like, it's supposed to make you sleepy, but I don't get it. And I was like, oh, okay. And I never thought about ASMR again for the next 2 years. But yeah, that was the first time I watched it. Why you decided to start creating ASMR content, I touched on that already, that it was during quarantine with COVID and I was bored. Is learning Japanese difficult? Yes, especially in the beginning. Yes. I think kanji is the hardest part because there's thousands of characters that are very difficult to remember that I'm still struggling with. I appreciate your ASMR. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Okay. Next from Galvatronus TTV. Since you're a fellow once, yes I am. I love Twice. What are some of your favorite Twice album songs? Okay. So, my favorite Twice songs, I like a lot of their earlier albums. So, like, obviously TT, Likey. I think Likey is my favorite Twice song. I love Likey. TT, Likey, Heart Shaker. Obviously What Is Love. Signal. I love Signal. I do not accept any Signal hate or slander. Do any of them hit you in the feels when you listen to them? Oh, hilarious. Yeah, I love the feels is really nostalgic because when I listened to it a lot was when I first moved to Japan. So whenever I listen to the feels, I get this weird feeling in my stomach of this like excitement, but like a little bit of anxiousness that I was feeling when I first moved here. Yes. Yeah. Definitely. TT makes me feel some type of way. I don't know why, but it does. I love Twice. And then, like, B-sides, I really like Espresso from, I forget what album it's from. It's a more recent album, Espresso. I like Ice Cream. It's a really sweet song and a cute song. Okay. Thank you for your question. I love toys. Okay, and next we have from, oh my goodness, I don't want to mess up anybody's name. Okay, KEJAUNAPOUGH 9240. Thank you for your question. Says, congratulations. Thank you. My questions for you would be, how is your journey going learning different languages? It's fantastic. And next, I want to learn Chinese, and I just started Duolingo Chinese. I'm really excited about it because it's my first time learning a language with tones, where the tone that you say a syllable in changes the meaning. So like ma, 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 like that all has different meaning. So cool. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. What tools help you to become more fluent? Okay, friends, because it forces you to use the language, and it's both input and output at the same time. I mentioned earlier, you need to be input and output equally. So you're gonna listen to your friends, you're gonna talk back to them. Yeah, so definitely meeting people who speak the language is the best way. And you need something that's going to force you to study it like every day, especially in the beginning. So I think classes is the best for the first like year of studying, because it's going to hold you accountable where you have to study. And then what other languages do you want to learn? Okay, so I've studied, as of now, obviously I speak English, and then I studied Spanish for 5 years, and then Korean for a couple years, which I'm still studying, and then Japanese, which I would say is my best second language because I live here, so it's the one I use the most. And then I'm starting Chinese now, which I'm really excited about. I want to learn another European language, like particularly maybe a Romance language, like Italian. I've heard crazy things about French. People talk about how French is really annoying and difficult to learn, so that makes me want to try. I feel like I could pick up Italian pretty easily because of its similarity to Spanish. Oh, Portuguese. I have a lot of Brazilian friends, so Portuguese for sure as well. Thank you. What's your favorite food since being in Japan? I really like katsu. Katsu is fried pork, but it's a special cut of pork and it's fried in a special way. It's not greasy, and you eat it with rice, and if you're in Nagoya, you'll eat it with miso. That is a meibutsu, or like a famous thing of Nagoya, is miso katsu. I really recommend it. It's so good. Yeah, I love katsu. Okay, thank you for your questions. Next, I have to give you a heart. Okay, so next, from Concert Aliens, but the A is a 4. Congratulations on 100k. Here's a few cues. Thank you. What's a trigger you really enjoy but haven't done yet? This is such a good one. Okay, I would say I've never done fast and aggressive ASMR, and I do like it if I'm in a certain mood for it, you know? Like sometimes I just need, it just really scratches my brain in the right place, so that's interesting. Or like really tingly whispering where like the sensitivity is all the way up on the mic. I've never done something like that, so that's interesting. Would you ever do live streaming ASMR? Yes. I want to live stream, but I'm a coward. I'm scared. I don't know, because I feel like live streaming is more vulnerable, because if I mess up, I can't stop the video and like edit it out. So I'm a little nervous about it, but I do want to get into streaming. I think that would be like the next step in my YouTuber career, ? Would you ever do full roleplay ASMR with costumes? That's an interesting idea. So I'm not sure like what type I would do. Like maybe some kind of cosplay with whatever like anime I'm enjoying at the moment. The only time I ever did any sort of cosplay was I dressed up as Shizuku from Hunter x Hunter for Halloween, and I actually really enjoyed it because I think she's so cool. Yeah, so I'm not against it. I'm not. But I feel like there's a big commitment to knowing the character that you're cosplaying, and I would want to do the character justice and like really study them and their mannerisms and the way they speak and stuff so I could like nail it. Because I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right. So yes, but I really need to be studied on the character. Thank you for your questions. Okay, next we have from Bram's World 77. Would you ever consider upgrading your setup, or are you satisfied with how it is? I would consider, but that doesn't mean I'll stop doing like more relaxed lo-fi style videos. I do want to buy a camera, like a nice quality, so like I'm filming on my phone right now, so the visual quality isn't the best. And I have this Blue Yeti microphone. I'm interested in trying out microphone with like different sides and stuff. And yeah, so I am interested. I am, and I would like to. I have this dream of in my future apartment when I can have more space, I want to have like a dedicated ASMR setup area. Because right now I have to take everything off my desk and then like set up my little ring light and my little microphone and everything. So I would like a dedicated ASMR space, and I feel like that would make me feel more professional. So yeah, thank you for your question. Next is Andrew Berenstan 4352. Don't know if you're still taking questions. I was. Thank you for checking. But I was wondering if you or any family members are Japanese or part Japanese. No. I'm not too familiar with a lot of my heritage, to be honest with you. But to my knowledge, I don't have any Japanese heritage. Yeah, but I do have a very great support system here who I consider to be like my family. Particularly my boyfriend's grandparents are the sweetest people, and they're like my own grandparents, and I love them dearly. But no, I don't have any Japanese family members. Love your videos. Congrats on 100k. Thank you very much, Andrew. This heart is for you. Okay, next we have, I don't know how to read this one. Hothorasadish. What ASMR channels were your biggest inspiration when starting out? Latte ASMR and Moth ASMR. And also Ting Ting. I have to say Ting Ting. She's so cute. I love your voice, by the way. Thank you. My voice loves you. Thank you. Okay, we have Jaren. Hi, Jaren. Congrats on 100k. Thank you. Heart for Jaren. If you could live anywhere in the world, would it still be Japan? Oh my god. Okay, I talk with other people about this who live in Japan. And I love traveling and I love experiencing other places. But to be honest, life in Japan is too darn convenient. And it's hard not to miss when you go somewhere else. Like whenever I travel, when I get back to Japan, I'm like, yeah, I missed it here. It's just, it's there's a lot of things that make living here easy, and one of the biggest things for me is honestly the convenience stores. I'm obsessed. The food is yummy, and you can get anything any hour of the day, everywhere, all the time. When I go back to America, I'm always craving going to the convenience store and just getting something, but I can't. Yeah, I do really like it here. But I would have to experience life in other countries to make a final decision about that. I've never been to Europe, and I would love to go to Europe, and there's a lot of countries that I want to experience, like especially Denmark, Sweden, Finland. I would like to see, because I've heard good things. Yeah, and I want to go to Canada too. I've never been to Canada. But as of now, I'm very content living in Japan. Thank you for your question. Hooded Olive, that's a very cool username. What has been your favorite type of ASMR video to make? Role plays, rambles, something else? Rambles? rambles. I just love rambling. I love talking and just going. And I love when people appreciate my rambles because it warms my heart that somebody wants to listen to me just go on and on and on and on and on about nothing. I like doing my rambles. It's become like therapeutic for me. It's like my diary. Instead of writing in a diary, I just ramble. So thank you. Thank you for that. Have you ever, oh, this is St. Jimmy Rocks 92. Have you ever watched Neon Genesis Evangelion? No, I haven't. I know I butchered the name. I've never said it out loud. I've just read the title. Neon Genesis Evangelion. That's hard for me to say. I've never seen it, no. I've heard good things. And if so, what were your thoughts? I'm sorry, I can't give you my thoughts because I've never seen it, but my friend said it was good. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. And regardless of this getting answered, congratulations on 100K. Thank you. Thank you so much, St. Jimmy Rocks. You rock. Thank you. Okay, it's Carrington B. What was the biggest culture shock you had when you moved to Japan? I answered this like an hour ago, but I don't remember what I said, to be honest. What did I say? Because I could say so many things. There was a lot. Oh, I think I said being stared at. Yeah, but, I want to give you a unique answer, so I'll give you one more. Tight spaces, small things. Small cups. Small cups. Listen, I forgot how much I miss big cups. Oh my lord. The restaurant gives you a water cup. One sip, it's gone. It's a shot. It's a water shot. That drives me nuts. Yeah, really small cups. Always really small cups everywhere. I drink a lot. I'm a thirsty girl. I always gotta get my refills like 10 times in one meal. Yeah, really small cups. Thank you for your question. Okay, Looney Maid. If you had a time machine, what would you choose to see? Definitely the past. I don't want to see the future. I feel like I'm not meant to see that. But I love history, so I would for sure. I'm definitely going and seeing different historical periods that I've read about in history class, like the Mongols. Hell yeah, I'm going to the Mongolian Empire. For sure. I'm meeting Genghis Khan. I'm shaking his hand. And also, maybe like Mesopotamia. That's gone real far back, but I want to see what was up in Mesopotamia. So, yeah, I would just go every historical period ever and just see what was going on. So, yes. Thank you for your question. I wish I had a time machine. Whenever people ask what my superpower would be, I said it would be time travel because I just love history and I want to go see the past. Abigail says, what is your favorite flower? I think hydrangeas. The hydrangeas in Japan in like early summer are really, really pretty. They're blue and pink and purple. They're beautiful. Yeah, hydrangeas. Thank you. Okay, Koala Orange says, I'm sure you've answered this previously, but what would you say was the biggest culture shock when you moved to Japan? I did answer it twice, but I want to give you another culture shock, so I'm going to give you one more. So I said being stared at. I said cups being way too small. One size fits all clothing. A lot of stores have just one size fits all stuff. Yeah. And never finding pants long enough. It's really frustrating. Yeah. Very much one size. Oh, and then at Starbucks, this kind of goes along with the last answer of small cups, but at Starbucks, everybody gets a tall. That's the smallest size. In America, people at least get a grande or a venti, medium or large, but everybody always just gets a small cup. I drink my small cup. Yeah. Thank you for your question. Okay. Oh, this is from SJ Livy. I remember on the Globe video a while back, that's a real while back, that was one of my first videos, thank you. You mentioned that you had only been to the US. Now living in Japan and visiting Korea, I was wondering what are some other countries you are on your list to visit? Oh gosh, so many. Definitely so many. Okay. I don't know where to start. Okay, I'm just gonna start like closest to where I am in Japan and just kind of like go out. So definitely different parts of China, Hong Kong, Taiwan as well. I am really intrigued by Chinese history because it's so old. It's like the longest documented history of a particular culture. It's just really interesting to me. So you just go way back in time. Yeah. And my friend Anna's in Cebu right now in the Philippines, so I'd like to see the Philippines. Australia for sure. I used to be really into an Australian band, 5 Seconds to Summer, when I was in middle school, and I really wanted to go to Australia because of them, so still gotta go to Australia. India. I want to eat the food in India. I've heard that there's really big differences in the food depending on where you are in India, which is understandable because it's massive. So I've heard about like South Indian street food versus Indian food in North India, so I want to try and compare. Yeah, there's so many places. Oh, I would like to go to Nigeria. I started listening to Afrobeats music recently, and I started learning about like African culture and stuff, and I think it's really cool, and I love the music, so I would love to visit Nigeria. And then if we go Europe, like we're going all over, obviously every country. I need to go to Brazil because I have a lot of Brazilian friends, and they have spoken very highly, understandably, of their country. Peru, Argentina. There's so many places. Canada, yeah, you can't count out any continent or any place. Ideally, I'd like to go to every country in a time when it's safe. It's really sad that there's not peace at the world right now. Hopefully there will be someday when we can go everywhere. And that's my dream. So thank you for asking.